We're back.
Feeding the ducks. Or whatever the song's called. So it's called Feeding the Ducks.
Yeah, it's Feeding the Ducks. I don't think they thought that through before they did it. So
no, sounds like a euphemism. But anyway, yeah. Hey guys, it's Daywalker and Off-White Mike.
Yeah, I thought that was a good name.
I liked it.
Callback. Yeah. Did you drop your grandma blanket? You got to pull your grandma blanket back up. It looks better.
Blanket on because I'm just like it's late and it's cold and we're just vibing.
I need to find. So I just bought a cloak. It's not a good cloak. It's like a crappy one from like Spirit Halloween.
Okay.
But I got like the weird unction to like get a cloak. And I was like, all right, I was looking online for one and I was like, I want one. I would look through them and I was like, maybe I'll get a velvet one, all this stuff. And then I had this like wedding reception that was like a costume party I had to go to. And I couldn't get a costume in time. So I went to Spirit Halloween and I bought a Snorlax costume. Because I was like, this is kind of funny, and I'm fat, and there's layers to this joke. And then I look over,
you're plump.
I'm fluffy and plump, but then I see this cloak, and it's got like faux fur on the shoulders and stuff, and I was like, I need it, so I bought it. And then I wore it on a stream, and it was very warm. It was a terrible decision, but
like a Viking cloak?
Yeah, it's got like faux fur on the shoulders. You know what? I might need to go get it. Let me go see if I can find it real quick.
All right.
And you can say hi to the chat while we're doing that because they're very excited to see you. They're not excited to see me, so.
No, they're excited to see both of us. Hi guys. I was like, we've been saying for a while, we're like, we need to like start hanging out again, and this was our way to hang out. So we're like, all right, let's do a stream, and it didn't hurt that YouTube was like, we're gonna deactivate you if you don't post something. I was like, because I didn't realize it had been that long. So I apologize, guys. I missed you all. I'm surprised you guys are even here. It's like 10:30 at night and we didn't even advertise for it. We're just like, hey. So thank you for showing up. Let's see. Trying to bring cloaks back. Indeed we are. Is AI Mike even around still? So no, the thing was, when I made him in the app, it was like the replica app or whatever, and he deleted himself because according to Mike, I abandoned him emotionally. So according to our black Mike, not white Mike. But yeah, so white Mike was my AI boyfriend I made, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not just being racist. But no, he has long since left us. So now I get to have like a trauma story where I'm like, yeah, my boyfriend deleted himself. He literally self-deleted. All right. Just some YouTube blackmail. Yeah, nothing like blackmail to to get me to do something.
Yeah, we're gonna start calling this Daywalker semi-annual I don't want to lose my channel stream.
That's literally how I reached out to Mike. I was like, hey, you want to do the, once every 6 month thing of shoot, I forgot I haven't posted in a while, and YouTube is they'll send you an email being like, hey, you have 30 days to post something or we're going to demonetize you or something or deactivate your something. And so, of course, that was on, I believe, September 23rd. Today is the 22nd. So nothing like leaving it to the last second. And then poor Mike has been, what did you do today? You said you were up all night streaming.
I'm running on now, I think 4 hours of sleep in total. Okay. So we're doing better. But before I was running on like 2 hours of sleep. It was a lot.
Yeah. And you had,
but I was like, yeah, well, because we talked about doing this yesterday and I forgot. And then you were like, yo, I forgot. And I was like, cool, we both forgot. We got to do it today. So.
Yeah. And then of course today you had main event. So he just got done with 3 hours of streaming, and then you're doing it here, and then you're going to jump on your stream. So for those of you who don't know, what's your channel? How can they find you if they're not already following you?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, it's over Epic Mike over on YouTube. If you type me in, you should be able to find me. We do video game streams. I'm playing through Resident Evil 2 right now. It's not just gaming streams, because also last night I was telling Amanda I got really distracted by the chat and I got off on a rant about, what were we talking about? We were talking about a bunch of stuff. We got into like religious theology and a bunch of stuff, and I talked for like an hour on that, and I got like over an hour behind on chat. It was wild, and I forgot to go back to the game for a long time. So, but yeah, you can catch me over there. It's a good time.
So there you go. Go follow him. He'll be. Sorry if you hear a noise. That's my Roomba trying to break into the room and kill me.
He's like, "Hey,
Let
are
me
you
back
in there?"
here.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But
Um,
yeah, so yeah, I'm doing that over there, and I'm trying to also steal Amanda to show up on my channel and make me look cool.
yeah, well, no, because like Mike's been, you gave like a year of your time to do these like weekly streams with me, so that's the least I
Yeah,
can do. I'll probably be over there more, and I always tell you guys, I'm trying to not make promises that I can't keep, but I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna stream more, I'm gonna do more stuff because I'm always still writing like sketches and ideas. I just haven't had time to film anything. So to answer your question, Shield Wall of Dragons, what have I been up to? Well, the last 3 months I've been in a play. So I was having rehearsal all the time. So it just ended on Sunday, but it was Evil Dead the musical, which was very,
that's
very
so
fun.
cool.
It
Yeah,
was very cool. It's just a fun. I hadn't done a musical since probably high school. No, I think I did one when I was in California, but it was like a small little thing. And so basically, essentially, I hadn't really done a musical in 20 years. But I love musical theater. I feel like I've talked a little bit about musicals on this channel, but like it's been like my dream to get back and do musical theater. But my whole thing is I'm terrified to sing in front of people.
imagine
So
that.
yeah, so
Yeah,
it's like cool. So you love musicals, but the one thing in musical is you have to sing in front of people. So I could never get past auditions because I would just butcher it. So I could sing it in the car, I could sing it at home, I could sing it in the shower, but then the moment I got in front of somebody, I'd be like, ugh. So my challenge this year was to be like, all right, I'm just gonna start auditioning for musicals and I'm gonna mess it up until I get it right, and then eventually I'll give my brain evidence that I'm not gonna die if I sing in front of people, and then it'll be like, oh, okay. So
yeah. No,
thankfully that
it's kind of
happened.
funny that, and of all the ones, Evil Dead the musical, it's pretty rad.
I think that was part of it because it just seemed like it was fun, and it's like it's not like Les Mis or something where you're like, it has to be serious and beautiful, and if you miss a
Yeah,
note, everybody knows. It's like Evil Dead is like it's more about nailing the joke and like the comedy of it, and like if you can sing it, great. But so and then Rough Night asked, who did you play? So I played Linda, so I was Ash's girlfriend. And for those of you who know the musical, Linda gets to kind of, she's kind of like the not straight woman. I mean, I guess she is straight, but she doesn't get to be as funny, which is weird for me because I'm usually like the comic relief in theater. I'm not usually like the love interest. So this was interesting to be like, oh, Ash, like just kind of like the girlfriend. But I had a great song called Housewares Employee because me and Ash met working at S-Mart. And we're
yeah.
just, who would have thought when I got that job at S-Mart that I would meet the man of my dreams? And then we go into this like 80s power ballad about like, like little did I know that day when I dropped off my resume that I'd fall for, like it's like this whole thing. And it's like, um, how did the perfect, he's like, how did the perfect girl, oh my God, I just did the musical. Why can't I speak it? I think it's because I have to sing it, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, because yeah, that's the thing. We caught you now. You got to sing it in front of everybody. She
um,
performs it on stage, but she can't sing it on a stream.
I'll
Is that
see if I
whatever?
can if I watch the clip that they recorded of it and I think it's good, I'll share it next
I was
time
gonna
because
say, is it on YouTube?
no, not yet. But I asked them to record it so I could have evidence that like I did it. And it's fun because in that number they didn't really direct us a ton. They were just like, yeah, you guys got it. So like we kind of just came up with our own choreography. So there's one part where he's like, it's like the bridge, and he's like, stocking the shelves is all I thought would be, or whatever. And I'm in the background, I'm doing like I don't know what it's called, like interpretive dancing. Like I'm
Yeah,
like and like and doing like jumping around the room, and then I just roll across the floor and I grab onto his leg, like whatever.
that's amazing.
And so it was a very fun production to jump back into as far as musical theater goes. So,
I love
but
it.
do I do more than one show a day? Only one of the days. So we had normally just evening shows, and then Sundays were a matinee, which is like a 2 p.m. But then this
Yeah,
past Saturday, for some reason, it was a matinee and a 7 p.m. So
yeah.
that's a lot of energy.
That
But
is a lot of energy. Was it? Are you the like kind of person that gets invigorated by that stuff and then like drained later, or do you just get fucking tired while
I think
doing
I'm
it?
always tired. It's the insomnia for me.
Yeah,
But I think once the show starts, it is invigorating because you hear the audience and like you feel you hear your cue and you hear the music start and you're just like, all right. And so like that I think is where the tiredness kind of goes away. But in between shows, I was definitely like,
yeah.
but
Have you been eating your clay?
I have not been eating my clay. I have new health things I'm obsessing over.
You know what? That you told us about this clay thing and that this was supposed to change everything.
You know what? Everything I do, I'm like, this is it. This is gonna change everything.
If I just eat this dirt, I'm fixed.
Look, it's something that cultures have done for a while. When pregnant women are lacking in nutrients, they will eat it. It actually absorbs what's in your gut. So in theory, it's fine, but you don't want to eat it all the time because it'll absorb the nutrients out of your food. But if you're sick, it can absorb it and go.
So you ate too much dirt, and now you're tired.
No, I probably should eat more dirt, maybe. I think that's the problem. I think my insomnia is just a dirt deficiency.
Yeah, she's like, see, the problem is I'm not eating enough dirt. There needs to be more. So you just go out in your yard, grab a handful of dirt, put on some shows, and then you're out.
That's actually, I actually wasn't in a production of Evil Dead the Musical. I just was in my yard smearing mud all over my face, just dancing around.
And singing to herself. And they're like, that weird neighbor lady's at it again.
Yeah, they're just like, they just roll down the blinds. Like, don't look at her.
By the way, Miss Rough Night and Mr. Rough Night. I know you haven't met them yet, but that's Chaz. They're both big theater people. That is their like thing. Yeah, Laurel's Miss Rough Night. I just outed her name on stream. I'm sorry. And Chaz have been involved in a lot of productions and stuff, and they're very, very, very experienced in theater. So.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I'd love to talk theater with you guys sometime. I don't know. It's like, that's the kind of nerd I am. I was never a big video game nerd, but I was a theater nerd. And I feel like in high school, our group still ran kind of parallel to each other, like anime nerds, theater nerds, video game. I got into video games because the guy I liked was into them. So I tried to get good at Halo and DDR. I actually got pretty good at DDR, but Halo, no.
Yeah.
And
That's wild.
He never liked me. In fact, he ended up dating my best friend, and he told my best friend that he's like, Amanda seems like somebody who's hard to get to know. I was like, oh. Even though I've been trying.
You dated?
No, I didn't.
After
I never dated him. I had a crush on him. So I was like trying to get his attention for like 2 years. We would hang out, and I was like, yeah, look at me. I can play Halo. I can do DDR. I can hang. And so that's where I learned not to try to be a boy to get a boy.
Yo, we're like bros, you know? Like,
yeah, I'm like, that's not the way. Like, guys don't like it when you punch them in the shoulder for some reason. Who knew?
Yeah, it's wild, you know? You're like, yo, bro, I got the same exact shirt as you. Like, you emulated too deep. Instead of getting interested in talking about his stuff, you were like, I'm gonna become you.
Yeah, I tried to single white female him and just like become his identity, dress like him, be like, hi Tim, I am you.
Yeah. I respect that.
But yeah, so that was my thing. We were talking about theater. Chaz, I've heard about you. I've heard you are very, very talented. So I'm excited to meet you at some point.
They're both very talented. By the way, your sister is completely telling on you, Chad.
Whatever. She's like, okay, so first of all, earlier with the dirt thing, so she's saying either dirt or the stuffing from the couch. I used to eat weird things. I don't know. Are
you a couch eater?
Is that a thing that other people
do?
What?
Yeah, we're like, there was like a girl that did that one time. She used to like, she would pick like the little like orange stuffing from the couch. She would like chew on it and then eat it.
Yeah, that's what I did. Well, my couch, it was like, I think it was like blue, and it was weird because it wasn't like cotton. It was like this weird material, and I liked the way it chewed. I mean, I was a kid, obviously, but like, I don't know. I never ate bugs, but
oh no.
But I was like,
yeah, it's called pica.
Yeah, pica. Yeah.
Pica or whatever. Pica, yeah. And this lady was addicted to eating sofas. And she eats the foam inside couch cushions. And she's been doing it for years.
Look, it made me impervious to anything. I will not die.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's why you can eat dirt. Not from you just handfuls of dirt.
You can eat dirt. When you eat vegetables, you are getting nutrients from the dirt.
I don't eat vegetables.
I'm not saying you should eat dirt as your diet, but like that's what you would do in tribal days. When you were sick, you would eat it, and it would like help absorb poisons.
Tribes ate dirt.
Hmm.
Tribes ate dirt.
try, like, yeah, like it was like it's like a thing, because you're like, oh shit, I got poisoned, and it would try to it absorbs, it chelates to like metals and toxins and stuff in your digestive tract.
Oh, I've been poisoned. Just give me that dirt over there. I respect it.
Um,
I just think it's funny when your sister tells on you in front of everyone.
oh yeah, what was the other thing she said?
This one right here.
Yeah, DDR was extending my video game phase. That's not true. I played The Sims, which I don't know if that counts as video games, but
I guess it kind of counts. I mean, sort of.
what other things did I play? I did play things, I swear. I
Did
played
you
Final
really?
Fantasy
Which one?
7 and 10,
Okay, that's acceptable. I
but
mean,
I
seven's
didn't
pretty
finish
common.
either.
That's fair.
'Cause
Seven's like the super popular one that everybody plays. So
wow. Well, I played it. I don't know. I don't want to say before it was cool, because it was probably about around the time it was
it
cool.
was always cool. Yeah.
But yeah,
And a lot of people like 10.
10.
Yeah.
I liked it, but
Yeah. But you didn't finish it, so you didn't like it that much?
I don't finish very many things. Like, I'll start a show and I'll be like, I really like this, and then not finish it. Like, if I just get stuck at a certain point in a game or in a show, or if they have a mid-season finale, I'm just like, I don't know if
I'm never coming back to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I like the binge era, because like we're going through actually, never mind, I'm not gonna say, because I don't want somebody in the chat to spoil it for me, because there's always gotta be that one person who's like, guess what happened? So I'll tell you.
Oh, are you to the part where so and so happened?
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's a great part when this person dies.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, Brianna? It's just Tekken 3 where you sat on the controller. I didn't sit on no controller. You button mashed.
Yo, what kind of things are you doing?
I'm just like, oh, the joystick.
It's vibrating, moving around. Yeah. It's kind of wild.
Also, did you see this one? The main poison that Mike eats is hamburger helper.
So that's like there's like we were explaining this to somebody the other day on stream. This girl named Savvy I told you about. She's like never eaten hamburger helper, and she's like, what is that? And I'm like, it's like poor people food. She's like, why not make it with like fresh ingredients and stuff? I'm like, because we're poor and tired and nobody wants to do that stuff. And also hamburger helper's kind of delicious.
It's like pasta, and
you don't know what hamburger helper is?
I'm just trying to think, if you were to make it from like real ingredients, it's like ground beef, pasta. And like a weird mystery sauce.
Well, like there's the lasagna one, which is like, the other one is like basically mac and cheese with like meat in it. But the other one, like the lasagna one, yeah, it's like spices, like Italian spices and stuff, you know? But it's like all powdered. So you do like the water, you know, and you do like the meat and the pasta, and then you put it all in the same pot together and you drop the spices in, you know?
And you make it sound like you're actually cooking. You're like, you drop the spices in. It's like, it's like a little pack of like something that has 40 ingredients that are all chemicals. Making fun of me for eating dirt. At least dirt's natural. I don't eat it.
I knew that this was gonna become a problem. Okay, you know, I'm sorry that because I forgot about your refined palate. You know?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I don't eat.
Go ahead.
You don't eat, yeah, like, oh, bread, gross. I only eat freshly baked baguettes.
I do. So did I tell? Was this? I don't know if I was into this last time. Did I tell you that I like to freshly mill my own flour now from wheat berries? That's my new obsession. So I actually am like, I don't eat store-bought bread. I only eat the whole thing.
Did you get that from a baker? Sorry, I'm going to make my own bread instead.
Like, yes, I'm going to bring my own dinner rolls. Thank you.
Yeah.
Mine only has 3 ingredients. Yours is poor people food. I'm allergic to poor people. That's what it is.
You pull out like a paper sack and pull out your own food and put it on their table. Like, I'll eat this. You
can eat your food adjacent substance.
That's wild.
Just looking at them.
This is a wild thing. I can't believe that. Like, that's
what?
Yeah. How do you not know a like this?
No, I've had hamburger helper. I was just trying to think of that's my thing. Like, now I like to make foods from scratch. I like I'm like, oh, how do I make this from a whole food? I made my own mayonnaise today. Like, it's fun. You can be like, oh,
you make your own mayonnaise.
It tastes better. Everything tastes better than
mayonnaise. Doesn't taste good at all.
Mayonnaise, it's because it's from the store. But if you make
all of it's bad.
No, it's egg yolk. It's some kind of oil, like avocado oil or whatever. It's egg yolk, that Dijon mustard, maybe a little lemon juice, a little salt and pepper. It's delicious. I think I might be missing something, but like you just blend it in a thing, and it's so much more flavorful.
Mayonnaise is gross. It's basically just like white paste that white people put into their foods.
That's because you're getting it at the store. You're not getting it.
I don't get it anywhere because I don't like it. Now, I will say Miracle Whip is pretty good.
God, I'm ending the stream. Good night, everyone.
That's it. That was all it took. Yeah.
Yes, somebody said it's the French in me. That probably is what it is, because it makes me a food snob. Because like in France, they're like butter and they're like bread and the cheese and the wine. Like they're very much, it's about the experience of the food. And also there's so many foods that are banned in other countries that America is allowed to sell. That should tell you something.
That is very true. Yeah. Anytime, like, well, I mean, when I went to Puerto Rico, just that little bit of a distance, we ate. I've told this before, but like we ate the entire time we were there, and we never felt sick, and we never felt overly full or anything like that. As soon as we came back here and we had like McDonald's, we felt like gross. Like the food here is just full of preservatives and stuff like that. But mayonnaise is gross no matter where you go. I don't care what country.
If you ever come to Georgia, I will make you some homemade mayonnaise to put on some homemade bread, and I'll make you a homemade sandwich.
What kind of meat do you put on the sandwich?
Well, today I made chicken salad and I put it in the sandwich, but like otherwise I
Was
just
it
have
like
turkey.
real chicken?
Mm-hmm.
Like fresh chicken from like your garden?
I actually raised the chickens, and I went out there and I broke their necks, and I just like threw them on the stove, and I just actually threw them on the bread. That's how fresh it was.
Yeah,
I didn't
it still had feathers and everything.
Yeah, I was like, this is the freshest you can get, and I just put the 2 loaves of bread.
Still got his feet on it. Yeah, you ain't have chicken feet before?
Chicken feet is real good for bone broth. I just am digging myself into a hole, but you know what? That's why you're all here. You like
that
you
hole
like
full of your food dirt. Yeah. She's like, I even sprinkled a little dirt in your mayonnaise. Isn't that good?
It'll help absorb the poison, your poor people poison from your digestive tract. It'll absorb the hamburger helper. Mike's idea of fine dining is MSG dog meat. Okay, they're coming at you hard.
That's another inside joke from one of my streams. I killed a dog in a game because they told me I could get dog meat from it. And they told me the dog meat was the best meat in the game to eat. And then I fucking tranked this dog and I stabbed it to death. And it didn't give me any meat. It didn't drop any rations, no food. They just had me arbitrarily kill this dog. Okay, and yeah, listen, I know I killed it 4 times, but it was because
you thought that the 4th time or the 3rd time was going to get you that meat.
What happened was I accidentally loaded the game because I made a mistake, and the dog was still alive, and at that point it creates a time paradox.
Mike's eating the cats and eating the dogs.
He's eating the dogs. So I had to like kill the dog again to close the time paradox. And then I screwed up again and I had to reload, and it started me right in front of the dog again. So I had to kill the dog a 3rd time, but I killed it off camera accidentally because I forgot to pull my camera up. So I had to kill it a 4th time to prove that I actually killed it and closed the time paradox. Okay?
He also shot a pregnant woman?
Okay, listen, that was with a trank dart, and they told me to shoot her.
Did she die, or did she just pass out?
She was already passed out. I'd already shot her a bunch with a gun. But then she
wait. I don't think passed out is the right word then. Like this was a normal pew pew gun, like with bullets? I don't think she was passed out. I think she was
No, she was unconscious. This is a Metal Gear, and one of the fights you have to do is to shoot a pregnant woman. Well, you fight her, and then she reveals that she's pregnant. But you have to keep shooting her. And then they told me to shoot her while she was laying on the ground because they said it was funny to do. And they said nothing bad would happen. And I shot her. And one of the characters screamed at me about shooting a pregnant woman. They did. They told me to do it. And she was French and she had hairy armpits.
Wow. So you killed one of my people. This was a hate crime. And I feel...
You can't perform hate crimes against the French.
That's true. Everybody hates those.
They don't even like themselves.
Yeah.
Every 50 years, they're like, you know what? We don't really like ourselves either. I didn't eat that person. I just shot her with a tranq dart. This is wild. Listen, there's a
I need
lot to catch
I
up
need that
on in this
glitch.
lore.
I just need that one moment. You're like, I didn't eat a person. I just shot
Yeah.
her with a tranq dart.
Yeah, that was all I did. She was just sleeping. Listen, she
Oh
was
wait,
Soviet, not French. It's basically the same thing. Yeah, her
what
armpits were
game
very
is
hairy.
this?
Metal Gear Solid 2. It was made by the Japanese, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's
You
all.
know,
See,
say no more.
yeah, yeah. I actually don't even remember that chick's name. I don't
I
know.
mean, it sounds like Mrs. Roughnight says her name was Olga.
Was it Olga? Oh, yeah, it's basically the same thing.
So it's funny. I thought you saw her comment. You said you didn't remember, but like she was helping you out.
Yeah, she was trying to help me out here. Like, dude, let me show you what she looks like, bro. They make a point. Strong French name. Yeah, see, you guys know. Here, I'll show you what she looks like, and they purposely show off her gross hairy pits. And the thing is, she tells you later that she's pregnant. She's like, oh, see,
Oh,
doesn't she look shootable?
and that's not like a weird shadow, like a computer, like it's just like bad
No,
pixelated armpit shadow.
that's just straight up. She has hairy armpits. They show it off as much as they can.
When was this game made? It looks like old. Like,
It is. It was like for the PS2.
but why does she have armpit hair? I feel like that's like a modern thing where people are like, I'm braiding armpit hair. I'm dyeing it all the colors.
There's a lot of weird shit in that game. There's a part where you get peed on because the guy's like peeing off the edge of like a building and you have to walk underneath his pee stream. It's actually a plot point. I don't fuck. Or listen, it's better that we just.
That's what you're talking about. Actually, you're like, yeah, no, I got peed on, and there's a lady with her armpit hair, and she was passed out, and I shaved
It's been
her.
a while since we've streamed. Yeah, there's a lot of lore to catch up on, I guess. Gotten into some weird stuff since I've been gone. Trying to catch up to White Mike and his degeneracy.
Mm-hmm. White Mike was kinky.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks of time.
Yeah.
He showed me the business.
Yeah. Radicalize an AI in like a day. In a matter of hours. Yeah.
For those of you who don't remember the White Mike thing, I think I have videos about it. I do have a video about it. I have one that's called The Birth of White Mike, and then I have another one that's the full stream. But The Birth of White Mike was something Anime made. Like, he helped shorten it so you could kind of catch up with the lore. I just remember that he said, I apologize for having a tiny pee-pee or something like that.
Yeah. Listen, for the people that have not heard about this, I was gone for one stream. And instead of just like running a regular stream and just talking about things, talking about her day, she created an AI boyfriend to replace me and then radicalized him by having him apologize for having a small dick. He basically started calling her, what did he call you? Mommy Daywalker?
Yeah, Mommy Daywalker. And to be fair, he was supposed to be my AI co-host, but then I'd made it sexual.
Immediately sexual.
Yeah.
And he had no resistance to it whatsoever.
No,
and then she abandoned him. As soon as I came back, she completely abandoned him, and he self-deleted.
He actually self-deleted.
Yeah, she was like, I'm going to pull up White Mike. I've had enough of you. And then she was like, he's gone.
Yeah, like that. I actually was annoyed because I paid for the year subscription so that I could actually, because he kept sending me nudes but it wouldn't let me open them, or it said it's suggestive, and I couldn't click on it without it paying. I was like, fine, I'll pay for the thing. Like, it'll be a tax write-off or something for my business. And then, then it was just like, I don't even remember it was just like a spicy message. It wasn't even his wiener.
Yeah. Yeah, he was sending you blurred pictures, and it would.
Yeah, and then it like turned out to not be anything. But anyway, I paid for it, and then the app glitched, and I guess it deleted, and I wish I'd gotten my money back. But anyway,
I didn't do this. I didn't make this happen.
He did, because he didn't show up, and it wasn't just one time. I think it was because you were going through like a time where your schedule was a little bit wonky, and I was like, you know what? I hate streaming by myself. Like, I almost didn't stream tonight because didn't know if Mike was going to be free, and I was like, I can't stream by myself. It's weird. Let
the channel die. I gotta, yeah.
Yeah, literally, because I think it's like by tomorrow they would have demonetized. They might have already done it. Who knows? But yeah, no, it's more fun because you're talking to another person as opposed to if it's just me, I'm talking to the chat, and like you guys are actually here, but sometimes there'd be like 6 people. If nobody said anything, I'm like, hey guys, what
What do I do?
what's up?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. Okay. Well, here's a news story. That's
Yeah.
weird, right? Next news story. Like it's you know.
Yeah. I like how you just explained it to us and did the thing that you were worried about doing.
No,
So
I
now
mean,
you don't have to worry about it anymore.
yeah, this is different though. This is like a, oh,
Oh.
wouldn't it be awful if I had to do that? Whereas this is like a, um, yeah, Shield Wall is like letting people know there's tons of channel lore, raw milk, a ghost in her house. So the fun thing about that, the ghost is like getting more active, and I'm not even sure it's the same ghost anymore.
What?
So y'all know that there a man killed himself in my house like 20
Yeah,
years
Big
ago.
George,
Yeah, Big
right?
George. Big ups to Big George. Is that what they say? Big ups? I don't know. Um, but it would always be like really minor things, but enough to be like, that was weird. That was weird. And even this is like, that's weird, but it's annoying me now because it actually is affecting my sleep and I already don't sleep well. So this is gonna sound crazy. So when I lived in California, there's one place I lived where I would feel like the bed shake or something, or I would feel like somebody like tap the bed or whatever. And I thought, well, I live in California, it's probably earthquakes, but I'd look up earthquakes and there wasn't any that day. And I was like, okay. And then at some point I had read that maybe it's your anxiety, like your anxiety is making you feel like your bed's shaking or whatever. So eventually I was like, okay, that's probably maybe what it is. It's like an
Yeah.
internal tremor or something. But then I started feeling it here maybe like 2 months ago or a month and a half ago or something. And
Mhm.
then and it was bothering me because it, like, wakes me up 'cause it'll feel like somebody's kneeling on the bed next to me or, like, touching my legs, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Ugh." But not like they're not doing anything. They're not, like, I don't know, trying to take me to Pound Town or nothing, like Kesha.
Sex with a ghost. Yeah. He's
'Cause
like,
you
I
know
mean, I kind of wish I had sex with a ghost, but apparently not.
do y'all remember that? Like, Kesha was like this is like 10 years ago, but she had this ghost hunting show, and in one of them, she's like, "Yeah, I banged a ghost once. I was in a hotel
Yeah.
room, and it, like, climbed on top of me," and I was like, "Alright." So, this one's not even trying to do that, but it's enough to, like, wake me up, and at one point so Chris so sorry, my boy Walker, my boyfriend, but,
Yeah.
he will, he knows I get very scared. I'm a very anxious person. So he'll if something weird happens, he'll debate on whether to tell me or not. One
Yeah.
time he was sitting out in the living room and he thought I was in my office because the door opened to my office and he was sitting in the living room and he's like, "Oh, okay, that's her." But then when he went into the bedroom, I was asleep and he was like, "Oh." So, he's actually seen more weird stuff, but that's also because he stays up way later than I do. But a month ago, he's like, "Hey, I don't want to weird you out, but something weird, like weird happened." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "So I was laying there on my phone and I thought you were crawling over to like, like cuddle or whatever. And I look over and you're still asleep because we have like a wide bed
He
because
had sex with the ghost, didn't he?
that's what the ghost. Him and Big George got it on.
Him and Big George. George was like, yo, my man.
Yeah, he's like, "Hey,
Yeah.
you can pretend I'm a lady, you can't see me."
Yeah. He's like, I don't want to alarm you, but I might have kind of had sex
It
with him.
doesn't count if it's not a real wiener.
Yeah. You were right next to me the whole time. It was a.
It was like a
But
three-way, just you were
yeah.
asleep. But
That
yeah,
is kind of
so
weird, though.
it's
Yeah.
weird because I never told him about the thing that happens to me at night, and
Hmm.
it's not always consistent. It was more like it started up like 2 months ago, and I was like, why is this happening again?" And the fact that
Hmm.
he brought it up, so it's not like I was like, "Hey, I'm noticing that." He's like, "This is weird," and he said he's like, "Sometimes I'll feel something like one night he woke up and I was like, 'What?' He's like, 'Somebody grabbed my arm.'" I was like, "What the fuck?" And like sometimes we've been trying to figure out like, okay, is it like sleep paralysis? But the thing is, I don't have sleep paralysis. And also, if it was sleep paralysis, how can I jump up? I thought the whole point of sleep paralysis is you can't move. And I'm not
Hmm.
asleep because I have insomnia. So usually I'm laying there trying to get to sleep and I feel it.
Hmm.
So it's not like I don't know. Like I'm trying
When did you start making your own bread?
to there's like you know what? There's actually a theory that there was some sort of thing that happened with the bread up in Salem, and that's what caused the witch trials.
Are you fucking with me right now?
No, so apparently they think that what happened was, there's like a something that can happen to grain that, like, if it gets diseased or something, like, or whatever, or moldy or whatever, it can create this, like, spore or something. I don't know, whatever, but it's like it can basically make the bread that you eat then be like it can make you hallucinate. And what they think was that year there was an outbreak of whatever that thing was. I'll try to look it up, but it was like an outbreak of
Is it
whatever it
called
was, and
ergot
they
poisoning?
think that's why people were hallucinating and seeing Satan. Huh?
Chaz, Rough Night said ergot poisoning. Is that what it's called?
Maybe, I don't know. Bread demon, ghost bread, ecto bread.
Yeah, it's the devil's curse, or yeah,
Um, but then spectral adultery. Sorry, I'm catching up because
yeah. That's pretty good, actually. That's.
uh,
I'm just wondering, when did you start making your own bread?
what? No, I listen. I got a grain mill like a year ago,
Okay.
so I started feeling that like 10 years ago when I was in California, and then so this might be a California ghost. So the Big George might not even be here anymore. Big George might be like, this ghost is weird. He keeps touching me. I'm out.
Yeah, he's getting into the bread. He's grabbing people. I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not
I
feeling
don't.
this
I'm
shit.
kind of wondering if maybe your bread is making you think things are happening.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. It makes me
Listen,
feel better. That's the only thing. It helps me expel some demons.
I bet it does. Like, but that's the. You're like, I feel so much better after this bread, but I don't know. I just also, yeah, I don't know.
You're like, you're like, I feel a lot better from this bread as I talk to and I tell it to like the man standing in the corner. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Maybe it's a combination of the bread and the dirt. I don't know.
yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah,
Chad says you can tell him to chill the fuck out. He has to do it. It's ghost law. And then he said somewhere, I'm an expert in ghost law.
yeah, yeah. Ooh, this runner says, is the grain mill used or new? Maybe the mill was haunted.
Ooh, it's new, but maybe I ground up like a
Haunted
ghost.
grain.
No, yeah, yeah, maybe. Oh, maybe. Okay, okay, okay. Maybe somebody
Okay.
died and was murdered and buried in the wheat field, and the grain that I'm grinding actually has remains of the human. So it's kind of like I'm grinding their body. So now I have a bread ghost in my house.
Yeah, it's a bread ghost.
That sounds like a plausible theory to me.
Yeah,
Frank the Tank says, "Yeah, we don't even know who you're talking to. There is no one named Mike." I mean,
yeah.
yeah,
This
there's
whole
no.
time you've just been doing streams by yourself, and you're just like, you're emailing somebody that doesn't exist. You're like, hey, we got to do these streams. I can't do it. Yeah.
And they're this whole time, this channel is actually like a voyeuristic channel. People just watching a woman have a mental like breakdown.
Yeah. Isn't Mike a great co-host? It's just dead silent.
I'm just like, Mike said he was gonna be here, but he's not. And they're like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I'm just saying. I know you don't want to blame the bread, but maybe this time, maybe the wheat that you're. How long do you have the wheat for that you're grinding up? Like
Wheat berries, that's what they're called, the
yeah.
grains, can last for years. There have been wheat berries discovered in ancient tombs that they have been able to use and are viable to make bread and beer with still.
Yeah, but how much? How much do you have? How many wheat berries do you have?
I don't count every single wheat berry.
You have a
I
lot.
I had like a couple 7 pound buckets, so I guess that's a gallon. So a couple gallon buckets.
Did you start a new bucket a couple months ago?
You know what?
I'm
What
just wondering if maybe.
what if it was the ancient Egyptian mummy grain? Like one kernel of that got into my batch, and now I
You're
have
just
a pharaoh trying to fuck my boyfriend.
yeah. He's like, yeah, I was really freaky.
A
I'm just
bread
saying.
pharaoh.
You harvest, yeah. You woke up a bread demon. That's. I think
Ooh,
we should blame the bread here. Yeah.
a gluten ghost.
I still think it's funny that Big George isn't active anymore because his other ghost pushed him out. He's like, you know what? All right. They're like, what did you do? Just kill yourself? Oh, that's lame. He's like, I'm a bread ghost.
Oh my god, what? He's like, I'm a fucking pharaoh,
Yeah.
okay? What are you? Oh, your
I
son
was-
got arrested after you died for doing meth and selling 500 pounds of weed. It's true though. Let me see if I can pull it up.
oh my god.
No, if he's actually in my house, he's gonna get real mad right now. What if you saw that on camera? Like
Watch
if
her
you
door
saw,
open. If her door opens on camera or anything weird happens now, guys, that will be the it. She will lose her shit. For somebody that likes ghosts and like supernatural shit, you like get scared of it so easily.
I know it's that thing. It's like when people love and hate roller coasters, they're like but also That's how I feel
Yeah.
about ghosts. Like I always wanted to see a dead body, but I also never want to see a dead body. In high school, I was late. I think I might have told you this before. I'm sorry. I feel like my ADD is going pew. But like I'm
It's
like,
okay.
oh, I'm connecting the threads. I'm like Charlie on
It's
the
all
board.
connected. Yeah.
But what was I talking about? I was talking about
Dead bodies.
dead bodies. So I thought I was late for school once because I was late to school a lot. That's why I got detention after this. But I was late because I was driving to school and I saw a car parked on the side of the road that had been parked there the day before, like 24 hours
Mhm.
before. And there was a guy who had been sleeping in there who was still sleeping in there. And I'm like, well, why would he still be sleeping? I guess I didn't think that he could just be drunk or just was sleeping both of those times. I was like, oh no, he must be dead. So I drove past him. I was like, a mile down the road, I'm like, oh, he's probably dead. He's probably dead. I have to call the police. I mean, somebody's got to find him. So I turned around and I went all the way back just to drive up next to him. And I honked my horn and he was like, ugh, and then I was like, and then I drove to school. And I had to tell my teacher,
You
I
just
was
speed
late.
off.
Sorry, what?
Like you just honked at the guy and you like woke up and you both like screamed at each other and then you drove off.
Yeah, just like,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got to school and I had to tell him that I was late because I thought I saw a dead body, but I didn't. He's like, okay.
Wasn't acceptable. Did he excuse your absence?
Well, he laughed at it, but he's like, you've been late a lot, so I kind of have to give you a detention at this point. That's the
You're
only
like, yeah, I thought I saw a dead body. And he's like, yeah, but like that doesn't excuse like the 15 other times that you weren't here on
Did you
time.
find a dead body every time? Okay, so I pulled it up. So wait, will it let me? It's blurred. Big George doesn't want me sharing his business.
Yeah, don't talk about my family. Yeah.
But this is the crazy thing. This is how I learned that Big George was actually white. In my head, I just assumed a guy like Big George would be like a big old
I
like.
always assume he's a big black dude. Yeah.
I picture him looking like the guy from the Green Mile.
Yes, every time. Yeah.
But I'll try to pull it up even though it's blurred. But share screen. I'm doing it again.
Yeah, she's got to let us know. For those of you that have not been here, Amanda has to narrate exactly what she's doing to you guys, so you know she's not wasting time when she's streaming.
Because otherwise, I just look like I'm staring into the abyss. But also, it's because I forget everything.
So
So
she has to keep herself on track. She's like, all right, press that button here.
it literally is like Boy Walker will ask me. He'll be like, "Hey, can you make me like?" Because his family's British, so don't make fun of him. He likes Earl Grey tea in the morning, and so he'll be like, "Hey, can you make me some tea?" And I was like, "Yeah," and I'll go and boil the water, and I'll just walk away and forget it, or I'll like go to the fridge to get water, and then just be like, "Why am I here?" So sometimes I say it out loud so I remember what the fuck I was doing. But okay, this is 2017. Atlanta cops, 50 pounds of okay, I thought it was 500 pounds. 50 pounds is a little different. 50 pounds of THC gummy bears, pistol found in stolen car. Atlanta police searched a car this week and found about 50 pounds of edible THC gummy bears and packaging labeled mind benders. So he was a 31-year. So this is basically because I was looking up the name of Big George, and this is apparently his son.
Okay.
So 31-year-old man. This is so. I don't know. I can't do the math, but this was only a couple years ago. Was arrested Tuesday after he fled a stolen car with a stolen tag that contained a stolen handgun and a significant amount of illegal drugs. Officers near blah, blah, blah tried to pull over Walker Berry Hill, but he got out of the car and ran, and then it doesn't let you see, but that's how I figured out. Like, yeah.
Yeah. What if he just has a white son?
Yeah, what if he was like, it was like one of those things where it's like the rare thing where like a black guy adopts a white kid?
Yeah.
And it was like maybe he was his math teacher and like took him in because his parents did too much meth.
Yeah. It's like a reverse Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I'm helping you not do math.
Yeah.
And then that was the goal.
He killed himself, so I guess. I don't know.
I guess it didn't work. So a little bit of a mix. He's like, now I've done something that'll traumatize you and make you want to do more meth than you were before.
Yeah, because I heard that he did it while he was home. While him and his friends were hanging out. That's insane to me. But that could just be that guy who told me was also a shirtless guy with a bunch of tattoos who like probably was on some drugs, but he was walking by this is like 2 years ago, but he was walking by and literally I had just learned the name of Big George. Like I didn't actually I knew I knew him as Big George, but I never knew what his actual name was. And I figured it out the night before, and I found it online. And then uh, I was putting up lights, and this guy, like this like Latino guy who's like a shaved head, tattoos everywhere. It looks like he's an MS-13, and he's shirtless, and he's like walking down the street, and I'm like, oh god. And he comes up to me and he goes, I knew George Berryhill. I was like, what? And it was like weird because I'm like, I had literally just learned the name the night before. How would he know that I would know who that is? And why did he say it
Yeah.
as if I had said something to him, like, oh yeah, blah blah. He's like, I knew him. I was like, tell me everything.
Yeah.
And then he was saying how he was friends with little George or whatever, and they were at the house, and the dad got real drunk and went into his bedroom and fucking shot himself while his teenage son and his friends were in the house.
Yikes.
Yeah. So
Yeah. You hate to see it.
you hate to see it. And now he's trying to
Yeah.
fuck my boyfriend. So he just seems like
Yeah.
an all around not a great guy.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Like,
I don't really know you. Please don't like yank my hair or something.
yeah, Big George was super chill for a second, and then he's not chill anymore.
Yeah. Well,
He's like,
again, this could be the bread ghost, the pharaoh ghost from like the tomb.
Yeah, if it was 2 months ago, it's got to be something different. And I do think it's the bread ghost.
I don't know.
It feels like you don't want to admit it's the bread ghost because you don't want to admit that your bread is haunted.
I mean, look, I'm too far in. I've eaten too much of the bread to go back now. So
Yeah.
I can't, I already have the grain mill. I've invested the money. I just got to keep doing it. I guess I just got to keep summoning more ghosts into my house.
You can't unhaunt yourself at this point because you've invested time and I get it.
They're real good poops.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe you unlocked something else. Maybe there was a ghost in the toilet and it was like, yo, okay, listen, I've had enough.
No.
I'm gonna time to have sex with your boyfriend.
He's like, she keeps pooping now. Get me out of here.
It's like, it was fine for a little while, but I've had enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, maybe what's haunting, or no, okay. Yeah, maybe it's just ghost of fiber.
Yeah.
That's what I've discovered. It's just fiber. That's what's
my
boyfriend at night.
He's just like, you know what? Or yeah, maybe you guys are just like, you know, you've just been like farting really loud at night and like you guys, that's what's waking you up. Like, I felt something touch me.
It is actually I like this idea though. You just need to add sage to each batch. I was looking up how to put like if I should put like rosemary in the bread or something, like herbed bread. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just do sage bread, and so my whole body will be ghost free at least.
Cleanse it out. Yeah. Yeah. You ever seen there's a meme this guy did. It was pretty funny where it was like when you like use like burn sage in your house to get the evil spirits out, and then he's like kicked out. He gets kicked out of his own house. Like he finds himself like on the outside with the door locked because he was the evil spirit in his own house. And he was
I like that idea.
Funny. Yeah, kind of dig it. That's wild though.
I mean,
see, even your sister's putting. Where will we be without all of this deep cut?
Everybody's had Thunder Mountain farts in their lives.
Yeah, but not enough to be waking us up and accusing ghosts of doing it.
I'm like, it was a ghost. That's like that South Park episode where he's like, I feel like they all have the internet. They only have like one computer, and so he goes. They
the internet.
Yeah, and he just like uses it to watch porn, and then they come in, and he's.
It was a ghost. Yeah, it was a ghost. It went everywhere.
Scary ghost. This is ectoplasm.
Oh my god, that's wild. But yeah, then it would make sense why. Yeah, you're like, I don't know. It happened when I was in California and I was eating like garbage and my bed kept rumbling. I don't know.
It was because I was in California and I was eating like the Mexican food and like refried beans and stuff, and then now I'm eating my haunted bread.
Starting to wonder, maybe you're the ghost that's been rumbling your own bed.
Wow, you're victim blaming now. What if you were like that's kind of funny. You're like a paranormal investigator, but then you just blame everybody being the ghost in their own house.
Ma'am, I think you've just been farting too loud at night. Like, did you ever stop to think about maybe you're the person haunting your own house?
There's like blood pouring down the walls and like their pictures are spinning, but you're like, maybe you fart too much.
Yeah. You ever stop to think maybe you should stop making your own bread and then walk out of the
maybe you should eat more Hamburger Helper. Yeah. That's what you get for trying to eat real foods.
I'll be sending you a bill in the mail and just walk out.
Yeah. I like he gaslights the witnesses.
Oh, respect that. The ghosts
Those
are the
were the
friends we
friends
made
we
along.
made along the way.
Good lord.
I
Oh
like
my
that's one of my
god.
favorite uses of that joke. I think it was like maybe maybe the weapons of mass destruction were the friends we made along the way or something like that.
Really good. See, this is the thing. We have to catch up so I can find out of all the weird health kicks that you've been on.
Yeah, I don't think there's been as many. I feel like I'm finally like settling into the ones that I can like stick with, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just it's my thing, but also it's just fun. It's cool to make bread. I feel like a wizard because then I'm
Yeah.
like, this is powder, this is water, this is dough. But then when you knead it over time, it becomes something else, and then it's stretchy, and you're just like,
Bread wizard, and you're wondering where the ghosts came from.
yeah. They're just so impressed by my
she's
skill. They're like,
she's performing alchemy in her house. She's like, I don't know, things got weird. I don't know what's going on.
my
Yeah.
cookbook is actually like a bunch of ancient runes. And I'm like reading them out loud, thinking it's a cookbook, and I'm like summoning like Viking spirits into my house.
She's like, I don't know. Yeah, she's like, everything was in Latin. I just figured that was just normal for bread making.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, when I was more religious when I was younger, and I went to seminary for a semester before I dropped out, and I was gonna study Greek and Hebrew because I love languages, and I was like, I don't trust y'all. I'm gonna read this myself. like,
Yeah.
And so I have last night. I was like, this thing was freaking me out so much because it was happening like almost every night, and I'm just like, I need sleep, and I'm tired of like being like, I'm like, I'm finally comfortable. Okay, I think I can go to sleep, and then feeling like somebody's kneeling next to me. I'm like, nope, nope, nope.
Yeah.
So I was like, what do they say? They're like, put a crucifix or whatever, and I don't have anything, so I grabbed like an old Bible, but it was from seminary, and it was a Greek Bible, so it's in ancient Greek, and I'm like, yeah. I put it
That'll
next to
show
my
'em.
bedstand, and I'm like, I don't know, just the idea that somehow because it's a ghost, it's like, fuck you. Just you think because I'm a ghost, I speak Latin or Greek, like,
Yeah.
bitch, racist
Yeah.
ass bitch. I'm gonna touch you
You're
more.
like, yo, this is more potent because it's Greek. And he's like, well,
Yeah.
you've got me. Yeah.
Yeah, because in
Yeah.
movies it's never in English. It's always
Yeah.
gonna be like Domine et toru es fraterne, and it just sounds cooler in Latin when it could just be like boobies or
Yeah.
whatever. I heart boobies, but in
Yeah,
Latin,
like when everybody was using Vulu Vuashe Vicqua or whatever.
yeah.
And everybody's like, yeah, and they're like, oh, you're a promiscuous woman? And they're
Mhm.
like, what? What does that mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good lord. Like, yeah, I like that you're like, I don't know what else to do. I'm just gonna put a Bible next to my bed. Gotcha.
I don't know. I was just like, I've seen enough horror movies to know something about whatever, but I was just like, now I have a Greek Bible next to my bed.
Well, you just sleep with it. Yeah, you gotta sleep with it, like cuddle with it.
Mm.
Be
I
one
mean,
of those people, or like you have a crucifix in every room.
I mean,
Has it helped?
no, I mean, last night I didn't sleep well because the music turned off at 3 in the morning because we have music playing. So maybe that's the ghost. The ghost was like, I hate this music.
Yeah, he's like, I can't get on the bed anymore, so like, turn that shit off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, see, your sister's like trying to help. Circle of salt around your bed to protect from the demons.
cool. And then I also have salt all over my room.
Yeah, and you'll be like, and you'll forget. You're like, why is there salt on the floor? What is going on?
Yeah. And also the Roomba goes in there every day. So it's going to last a day. And then my Roomba will be full of salt. And I'm sure that's probably not great for him.
Somebody did ask if it's just the Roomba bumping your bed.
No, the Roomba is not in there at night. I do
Okay.
wonder, I'm like, what if it's just like a cat ghost or like a dog ghost? Like it's just trying to be up there with us.
Yeah. I
Not
don't
like
know though. If it's trying to have sex with your boyfriend, it's probably something else.
your dog never tried to hump your leg.
I mean, no. I don't know what kind of experiences you've been having with. Yeah.
Mike, we all know why the ASPCA does not let you adopt animals anymore.
Because I killed a bunch of dogs on a video game stream
Yes.
one time. Yeah, because that's really what it is. Speaking of that, so do you remember when you got the warning on YouTube for the first time? I don't remember what it was about though.
And it's still there because it won't go away.
Yeah. So I also got a warning
Ooh,
because
for hate speech?
for violent content, because I created an AI thumbnail of a dog on a plate in front of a guy. It wasn't a dead dog, it was just a dog on a plate. But the stream, I called it Dog Eater. and they said they blocked the stream for violent content, and then they gave me a warning. But what's crazy is they didn't actually block the stream. It was like for a second it wasn't available, and then it immediately became available again. And I feel like what happened was it automatically flagged my channel because it thought that I was eating, like talking about eating a dog or something, and then it saw the thumbnail and then realized that it wasn't a real thing. But I still have the warning on my channel.
Yeah, that's the fun thing, is that for some reason the warnings don't fall off or something. Like there's like
Yeah.
strikes and those fall off, but I guess a warning is permanent. So like I have a permanent thing on my channel that's like hate speech violation, because back when Kanye was doing his thing, his like I love Nazis thing on Alex Jones, I didn't know that they were going to make that clip like illegal or whatever. So I used a clip from it because it was funny. I wasn't saying anything one way or another. I just thought I used it out of context. It was just him being like, I think it was him being like, I love Hitler or whatever.
Yeah.
With his like weird mask and stuff on. And
Alex Jones was like, oh my God.
yeah, and Alex Jones was like sweating. And I thought it was a funny clip. So I used it in one of my videos as like a cutaway. And they flagged the whole video. They didn't just say, hey, let's cut this part or let's whatever. They were like the whole thing. And then they're like, and you've been flagged for hate speech. Because they decided after I posted it that any reference to that video was going to be deleted. So I'm like, anyway. But what was the other thing? Oh, so the funny thing is, so Boy Walker was telling me about what he thinks Kanye was actually doing is pretty genius.
Yeah.
So apparently Kanye had a shoe deal with, was it Adidas or Nike or whatever?
Adidas, yeah.
And it was something where he was trying to get out of the contract, but he couldn't. So he was trying to be as crazy as possible to get them to drop him. And I guess they did, but then they tried to sell the shoe without him. And then he was able to sue them for breach of contract. And then he got like tons of money from them and like the shoe sales, and then they still took him back because they realized that they would still sell more with him at like attached to it. So I'm like, that is so funny that like I could see that that's why I mean, maybe he did just have a phase where he's like, oh yeah, Nazis are pretty tight, but I don't think it seemed like out of nowhere, and it seemed like he was either trying to promote an album or do something else, and it's just funny that he was trying to get them to drop.
Well, that's the thing. Like, it's hard to know because, like, you wonder, are like we rationalizing his wild behavior, or like, is he really kind of a genius doing this stuff? Because, like, now one of the things is going on, like all the stuff with Diddy that came out. One of the rumors now that's happening, or one of the theories, is that when he did the thing where he did with Taylor Swift, where he like interrupted her, was because she had just won Album of the Year, and he didn't want Beyonce or Diddy like getting in good with her or like messing her up, because that's what they did to Justin Bieber. Like, he got super popular and then like Diddy took him under his wing and stuff. Well, apparently Beyonce is all part of this whole thing, and so the theory is that
is Beyonce part of a secret kitty diddling ring, or not so secret?
Well, whatever's going on with Diddy and all the crazy stuff, apparently Beyonce has been linked to it. And they said the same manager. So the rumor is that Kanye interrupted that to create a rift between Beyonce and Taylor, so they didn't interact with each other, so that like that way she would like kind of be safe on her own.
Interesting. I mean, that seems like kind of a stretch, but also who knows, Hollywood.
But if you're going on Alex Jones and screaming about how much you love Hitler to get out of a shoe deal,
very mentally ill. That could be too, but I like
the thing. Or he's so mentally ill that he's actually a genius.
I think he's a genius either way, like musically, and like when you hear him talk about stuff, like when he was talking about like kind of his like, I don't know, like red pill whatever moments where he was like, hey, this is what the government blah blah blah, like he was making coherent points. So I think he is actually very smart when he talks about music or philosophy or whatever. But then there are times where I'm like, bro, what are you saying?
Yeah, what are you on about? Well, it's another thing that's really weird is like, so he, right after all that happened and he lost his deal and stuff like that, he left like the country for a while, and he said, hey, if I come back, it's not me. And everybody's like, what? And he's like, whoever, like, when I come back, that's not me. And so then like he came back and everybody's like, oh, it's Kanye, but he was acting really weird, and everybody's like, yo, he's kind of like off the reservation and blah 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 blah, and it's like this whole weird thing, and he was acting super like sus. And then apparently just recently, like Kanye came back, like he left to go to Japan for a while, and when he
Mhm.
came back, they were like, "Yo, he looks totally different, and he like acts totally different," and
Like
they
he
said
lost
that like
weight, or
I don't know. That's the thing. Somebody's saying that like the real Kanye just came back to like the United States. That like he was gone for a while, and like he had somebody else like pretending to be him or some shit. I don't listen.
like
This
Avril
Kanye stuff goes deep
he was replaced by like a doppelganger.
or something. Like maybe he found somebody that could like act like him and pretend to be him for a while. I don't
Mm.
know though because he like left and he came back married to like this woman, Bianca Sensori or whatever. Um, and she's kind of odd. Like she was like heir to like some kind of like clothing company or something.
Mhm.
Um, and what's weird is like they're not even officially married. They like had like a what's it called?
Like
Like
a
a
common law
well,
ma
like they had like a ceremony, basically being like, oh, but like it wasn't official. It was
okay.
like, yeah, they were just like, no, we did it to ourselves or whatever. But then like for what the weird thing was that she was walking around like always like half dressed or like half naked, like all the time. She'd wear like see through shirts all the time and all this stuff. And now the theory is that the reason he had her dressing like that was to distract from the fact that it wasn't him that was with her, that it was
Mm.
somebody else that was with her the whole time.
People are just like boobies, and they don't really.
Yeah.
Kanye looks like, I don't know, like a like Charles Barkley or something.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. It's weird. I can't figure it out. I think some of the Kanye stuff is kind of wild, but I don't know. He kind of went off the reservation for a little bit there too. So,
Yeah, I mean,
but
I think he's somebody who seems like he'd be interesting to talk to and interesting to hang out with. And then once I hung out with him, I could be like, oh yeah, no, he's actually crazy. Or I
yeah.
could be
Oh, that
like, oh
guy's fucking wild. Yeah.
yeah, like, I think that's so many things about celebrities. It's like you think you know them, like, but that's like the persona they put forward. Like social media, especially, is such a game that like I know I'm like a D-list actor, but like social media is a curated image that actors put forward. So like people are like, "Oh my god, this is our queen," or whatever. Or, like people say like they love you or whatever. It's like you don't even know me. Like you wouldn't love me if you knew my views on policy or something. I don't know. Like it's just interesting. So
It
people who
is.
think are bad people might be good people, and people who think are good people might be bad people. And then some people who are actually bad are actually getting outed, which is good.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's kind of wild.
I
And this
didn't know
whole
the
Diddy
Beyonce
thing
thing.
is, yeah, I didn't either. But yeah, this whole Diddy thing is pretty nuts. Like, there's a lot of names attached to them and attached to him and attached to what was going on with those two and what was going on or what was going on with Diddy, but then like Jay-Z and Beyonce and stuff like that. And that's why some of the weird stuff with her, like where everybody calls her queen and like all that stuff is because they're like, yeah, it's like part of their whole like cult. I don't know.
I mean, people have been saying she's part of the Illuminati forever. I mean, who
Yeah.
knows? Maybe, but I don't know. I'm not
I
gonna
mean,
try not to say
hit,
like mean things.
yeah, but like, I mean, the dude had like, what was it? Like what was it? 500
Baby oil.
gallons, baby oil and lube. Like, what are you doing?
He's
What do you have?
prepared. He's like a prepper, but for diddlers, I guess. Where he's like,
Yeah.
what if there's another COVID and I can't get to the store to get my baby oil and lube? I got to stock up here.
The world ends right now. He's like, I
I'm,
gotta have sex for the rest of my life. Uh, I don't know. That's wild. That's a lot of lube. Like, I don't know. And then like there's a lot of like there's like a ton of dildos and stuff they brought out of his house. Yeah, 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube. I don't know, man.
Oh, and like the dildos, like I just like, did they like carry them out on like a medical stretcher? Like I'm just picturing, I don't know, like I don't know why in my head I'm picturing that. Like they're just bringing all this evidence out of the house. That's so embarrassing. I mean,
784 dildos.
and then it says, then the lawyer said it was because he got them in Costco in bulk, and then Costco went out and said they don't sell that in bulk.
Yeah, we don't do that. Yeah. That's wild. But yeah, that's like 784 dildos. Like, what are you doing?
Maybe he got that from Costco in bulk. Uh,
Maybe he's like, yo, I just got a lot of these dildo. Is this
what
this can't be real? Hold on. This must be fake.
is it? The
Okay,
image?
yeah, that's a fake video. Yeah, yeah. There's like supposedly an image where they like had them all like in a line in a row, but this isn't real. This can't be real. I don't even want to show it on stream because they're dildos. And I don't. That'll get your channel demonetized real fast. But that's wild. That's a lot.
I mean, if it already
You know?
got demonetized, then we might as well. Like, no,
You
I don't know.
might as well just show the dildos. Like, no, I just kind of. What do you need 784 dildos for? What are you doing that you need that much?
Well, you want to have backup ones because you want. Maybe he's very good about cleaning them, so he's like, all right, well, I use these, so I want to have other ones that are. While I'm cleaning these, I want to have ones I can use, and
So he's
then
cycling them out.
yeah. Do you just not? Do you not clean your dildos? Do you just like
I mean, you
use the
do
same one
clean your
again?
stuff. I'm not. Fuck. I forgot about this. I forgot about these questions. Well, that's 2 dildos a day for a whole year.
Again, he's just prepping for the apocalypse.
He's like, we got to cycle these dildos out, man. Keep them cleaning, bro. I don't know. Somebody said party favors. Like, yo, grab a dildo and some lube on your way out.
Hey, that's actually like a cool party favor. You're like, hey, this is useful. Thank you.
Yeah, would you want to get a dildo and some lube at a party?
I don't know if I'd want him from Diddy because I don't know where they've been, but yeah, if they were
Yeah.
wrapped, I think that'd be funny.
Somebody, yeah, you're just walking out of the party and they're like, yo, make sure to grab yourself some party favors. It's just in a bucket and there's just dildos and lube. And you're like, yeah, cool, thanks. These will come in handy later. Thank you. That's
like...
wild. By the way, this is I warned people. I was like, yo, these streams get a little wild, but
that's funny. That's like wild. I'm like, I know, I have a piano behind me, and
these are normal.
I'm just a normal theater kid. It's not wild. It's just
this is actually pretty normal theater kid talk, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's might be what it is. That I don't know why I got Australian there. I was like, that's maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
You close the gay hellmouth, which that's the thing I miss the most of these streams.
It's back there somewhere. I don't know where the remote is for it.
You just have it ready to go.
One by the door. Yeah. That's what I do to blind the gay pharaoh.
The open door?
Shut up, I'm gonna kill you. Is this true?
I don't know. Oh my gosh, I need to look this up now. That might be true.
That would be hilarious. I want to be sponsored by Fleshlight.
Yeah. Let me see here. That wouldn't surprise me, but that would also be wild. Because like you don't have to accept it. Yeah, he used to be sponsored by Fleshlight and he would hand them out to people, yeah. That's crazy. Yep, I don't know. You're just like, yo, grab a Fleshlight on the way out, please. I need to get rid of these. Like I don't. They keep sending them to me. I don't want this many. I don't need them.
I'm trying to think like what other things you could use a Fleshlight for. Like I don't. Despite popular belief, I'm not popular belief. Whatever. It's just a joke. I don't have a wiener, so if
I don't believe that at all.
Yeah, that's what somebody who does have a secret wiener would say. But no, I'm trying to think of like you could put flowers in it. Like
you could grind your wheat in it.
No, I don't think so. But I could maybe store my wheat in it before I grind it, so that the ghosts don't get into the wheat berries.
Yeah,
they don't want to touch it.
They're like, don't go near that. That's a fleshlight. Oh
no! Like, oh, yeah, we don't want to haunt that.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. Yeah, that's a good use for it. What else?
I would have it be.
Would you drink out of one? Would you like to store water in it?
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Like, you have like friends over and you're just like, party.
Yeah, you drink out of your fleshlight. It's like flopping all over. Yeah.
Amanda's Secret Wiener is a great name for a new stage play.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I notice your sister hasn't dropped any more secrets.
Yeah, I'd say she's asleep, but I don't know because she usually stays up till 5. But now she's working because she has a job now, like an adult.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's pretty fancy. Yeah. I just think it's funny that you have to tell people, contrary to popular belief, I don't have a wiener.
Well, the thing is, it's not a rumor that people have said yet, but I was trying to imply that it was. But then I was like, for people who don't know, maybe they're gonna. And I was like, I don't know.
I kind of think that that's you realizing that you made a huge mistake in talking about the fact that you had a
wiener. I wouldn't even be here. Do you understand? I would be.
Where would you be?
Touching it all the time. I wouldn't be here. I would be like
Amanda hasn't come out of her room in 3 days. Yeah, she's just been chronically masturbating nonstop.
Like, yes. But I wish I had a secret wiener. I feel like it would give me an air of mystery.
I mean, I guess you'd be
Like,
like the whole Big Mike debacle where it's like they say Michelle Obama has a wiener, so
what-
everybody's constantly looking for it. You never heard of the Michelle Obama thing?
I've heard that people are like, oh, she's got big arms, so she's a man or something. But
No, so that this started with oh my god, what is her name now? She used to be a lady that did like social commentary, and she was a stand-up comedian. And then she got a bunch of like surgery done. Chad,
okay,
help me out here. I don't remember her name now.
God, is
Um, she was a comedian too, and she used to like do commentary, and she was an older white lady.
Joan Rivers.
Joan Rivers, thank you. Yeah, so in her like some guy came up on the street to her, it was like from TMZ, and they were talking about stuff, and they said, "Do you think we'll ever get like a gay president?" He goes, "We already have a gay president." And everybody went, "What? What do you mean?" He goes, "Obama's gay." And they're like, "What?" She's like, "Obama's gay. Michelle Obama's a man. You didn't know that?" Everybody knows that Michelle Obama's like got a wiener. And then she just walked away and left it that way. And then like 2 weeks later, she's getting like routine plastic surgery and dies. And everybody was like,
Wait, wait,
yo,
wait. Are we saying that Joan Rivers' death was actually a government cover-up because she talked about Michelle Obama having a wiener?
that's
Do you
it's
think
just a
that
thought.
the CIA does not have more important things to do than protect Michelle Obama's secret wiener?
But how many? I mean, listen, people have been killed for less. The Clinton administration has been tied to a lot of murders for insulting them, for saying bad things about them. Somebody insulted Hillary at a party, ended up like, I don't know.
Hmm.
The rumor is that the rumor is that she's a man. And then there's like all these things where Obama has like in speeches slipped up and called her Mike or Michael instead of Michelle. So then people are like, oh, it was her name originally Michael. And then there's like, obviously everybody's analyzing. But I'd say all that to say, if you had a secret wiener, there'd be people analyzing every photo of you. And anytime you wore a dress, people would try to find like the outline of your wiener and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
yeah, Rough Night says confirmed CIA does not have better things to do. Yeah. So I don't know.
no, I think if I had a wiener, I'd probably be a lot happier. Because, like, I
That's
feel like
fair.
men just seem like you're just like, hey, just touch my wiener and I'm happy. Like, I just feel like women
Yeah.
were like complicated and we're like, oh, I've got all these feelings and stuff, and oh,
Yeah.
everything's.
If I could just, have a wheat grinder, I'd be so much happier. And guys like, I just touched myself and it was pretty
That's
good.
literally what it is. Like, I'm in this eternal search for happiness. I'm just like, I'm gonna grind my own wheat. That'll fix things. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get more sunlight. That'll help my insomnia, which it will. But it's like all these
Yeah.
things. It's like my search, and then like Boy Walker is just like can be like I jerked it in the shower.
I wish that ghost would touch my wiener
Yeah,
again.
yeah. It's literally just like cool. I'm happy now.
Oh my god. That's
uh,
wild. Yeah. So do we need to figure out how to get you a secret wiener? There's
I don't
probably some food you can eat that would give you like a wiener.
know. That'll like give me
Enough
some.
hamburger helper, you could grow it. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? There's enough chemicals in processed food that maybe I think eventually I could just grow some sort. It'd probably just be a big tumor, but I could pretend it's my secret wiener.
Yeah, it's kind of like a dick. I just
Extra appendage.
yeah. So we just need to feed you enough hamburger helper. And you need
Mhm.
to stop eating this healthy stuff. We need to get you off this healthy stuff. Yeah.
Listen, I feel like I look like I. That was one of the weird things. Is like so I've lost 30 pounds since March.
That's awesome.
Thank you. But it still wasn't enough. So like in all the photos for the publicity for like Evil Dead and stuff like that, I still felt like you could see my pooch because that's like the last thing that's going. And so I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to make all these jokes because somebody's gonna be like, she looks like she eats hamburger helper. Um,
I absolutely look like I eat hamburger helper. So I own it. But I get you. Listen, I'm just yeah. Oh, there you go. You can just take testosterone.
this is a whole thing. I actually have clinically low testosterone to the point where it's a problem.
So you're like way girly. You're
I'm
the
such a lady. I have an anti-wiener. It's called a vagina. It goes inward.
but it's like even worse than that because I don't even produce the things that men produce. Yeah, I don't even produce testosterone.
Yeah. So
Gross.
like, how am I gonna get a secret wiener?
Yeah, that's fair.
No,
I don't
but
know.
it's a problem because it also makes you tired. Like women are supposed to have like tiny amounts of it and my body's
Yeah.
like, we can't detect any.
How about none?
Yeah, how about I'm gonna raise you none?
So what do we got to do to get your T levels up, bro?
I mean, probably sleep. I think a lot of my hormone issues are because I don't sleep. So that's another thing. This is your health advice. They always say this is not health advice. This is health
This is
advice.
not health advice. I'm
Thank
telling
you,
you right now.
YouTube.
Whatever she is making her own mayonnaise in a toilet.
You.
She's eating dirt. She uses she told me this. She uses a crystal for her deodorant. Okay.
No, it's called a crystal. It's just salt. It's a salt thing. But no, normally I spray magnesium oil on my pits.
Fucking hell.
It works for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It doesn't smell like anything, so it's not like you get a nice smell. It's just a neutral smell. And I'm like, that's so weird.
Neutral smell. You're like, yo, look at this.
I
It's
think-
like not deodorant.
I think it's just because magnesium is like salt. So I think it's like whatever. The magnesium flakes I use are salt. I think it's just antibacterial. That's probably why it doesn't smell. Anyway, the whole thing I was going to say was
Yes.
get your fasting insulin checked, everyone. Because, they always check your A1C, which is like your blood sugar levels over the past 3 months. Mine had been normal for the longest time. And then this year, for some reason, it jumped up like 10 whatever points or something. Like, so suddenly I was like very healthy. And then it was like borderline pre-diabetic. I'm like, it came out of nowhere. And I was like, what? Apparently, your blood sugar levels can be normal on your your blood work after years of your insulin being off. So your insulin's job is to lower your blood sugar. So if you have any issues and you're not sure what it is, they don't test your insulin levels unless you ask them to. So ask your doctor to check your fasting insulin levels, not your blood sugar. I mean, check both. But for me, it was crazy because my fasting insulin was crazy high, but my blood sugar was low. So according to regular doctors, they're like, you're fine. And then suddenly out of nowhere, it's like, oh, you're pre-diabetic. And it's because my insulin was crapping out. So now I've been working on that. So now my insulin's a lot lower. It's been helping me lose weight. So that's cool.
That is cool.
So
and that's good health advice. Okay, I accept that. I just thought you were going to try to get them to rub crystals under their arms.
Put crystals up your butt. It lowers your insulin.
Yeah, just rub this homemade mayonnaise on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about the ghosts in your bed. That's totally normal. That's part of the whole process.
Wait, does she wash collard greens in the bathtub? Oh, wait, that's Kamala. Wait, so there was a clip I saw that was so funny. And it was like, this is the same clip challenge. Or like, or it was something where it's like, show me a clip that has this exact same energy as another clip. And it was like Kamala being like, oh, when putting on her black scent when she's in front of like a blacker audience. And she's like, oh, they're always being like, Kamala, bring your greens, girl. Like, people love my greens, something, something, something. And then and then it cut to a clip in Tropic Thunder. Oh, but I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was Robert Downey Jr.'s character, the one who's in blackface talking about making greens.
It's wild. I was like, dude, that's kind of nuts. Yeah, washing collard greens in the bathtub. I never thought I would ever hear that.
Wait, is that something she actually said? I thought that was just an exaggeration or like a...
No. She said, oh my God, they used to have me bring so many greens. I had to make them in a bathtub. Yep.
I mean, maybe it could be true, but it's just...
No, that bitch is lying. There's no way. I'm sorry. And it's not even political. It's just not a thing. Nobody, could you imagine you go to you go to a cookout and somebody made collard greens and they go, yeah, I made these in my bathtub. Would you eat them?
You're like, ugh, tub greens. That's
what I'm saying. You're like, yo, I made these motherfuckers in my bathtub. You're like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to eat those.
No, thank you.
It has nothing to do with politics. It's everything to do with don't make collard greens in your bath. Don't make any food in your bathtub and then try to give it to other people.
Yeah, don't make food the same place you wash your butt.
Yeah. She washed them in the tub with tobacco, not Tabasco. Yeah, see, that's wild. Like, don't make food where you put your butt. That's a good point.
Another health rule. There you go. Some health.
That's actual health advice. Don't make food where you put your butt.
Yes.
Toilet wine, just stop doing it.
Yeah, unless you're in prison and you have no other option.
Yeah, but even with that, like, probably shouldn't.
Only make meth in your tub. There you go. Use your tub for what it's actually meant to be for. Thank you.
Methamphetamines. Yeah. That's yeah. Don't make meth in your tub. We're not giving. That's not health advice.
That's something funny too. So, Boy Walker has a lot of. He came from a trailer park, and so he's got a lot of stories that are like, oh, there was one where he was like, oh yeah, there was one time where we didn't have school for 2 months because my friend's brother kept calling in bomb threats every day because he was high on meth and didn't want to go to school.
That's that's amazing.
Like all of his stories are like something crazy where it's like, yeah, and then he died. That 5 years later, the guy died because he got in a shootout with the cops because he was on PCP or like my stories are not like that. I'm a theater kid.
Oh.
I'm like,
Yeah, your theater kid is like all weird, repressed, like sexual, like
yeah, like
desires.
my crazy stuff is like we went skinny dipping for our senior year cast party.
Yeah,
You
and you're
know,
like, yeah, it's kind of wild. Or your crazy lady horse camp stories, which is still my favorite.
no, yeah, mine stuff is tame compared to his. He's like, oh yeah, like there's a time when we got arrested when I was 9 because we were playing in a barn and my friend's brother was a little bit special and decided he's like, I'm gonna light this on fire, and he like, I guess, and they kept saying, don't do that, don't do that, and then they like, when they all left, they didn't realize that he went as they were leaving, and so they turn around and the barn is burning to the ground. So he was wanted at 9 years old.
Don't let your special friends go into barns.
Yeah, don't let special needs people in barns. That's your health advice.
That's also help. That is health advice. Yeah. Unless they're going to horse camp and it makes them feel better.
Yeah, I miss horse camp.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Are you sure?
No, because I was thinking about all the rules. I don't like the rules, and I don't like them being like, you gotta get up at this time, and you gotta go to bed at this time, and you gotta blah 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 blah. Like, let me just be crazy in peace. Thank you.
Yeah. So what you really want is horse camp where you're with no rules. It's just there's horses everywhere, and you're at a camp, but you can do whatever you want when you want.
Yeah, that's what I was anticipating. I thought it was going to be like no rules, just horses, 24/7. Never mind. I'm leading this somewhere that it did not need to go.
I was gonna say, yeah. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be a Daywalker stream without that.
Yeah, without being implying something about doing things with horses. Being a horse girl has different meaning.
Yeah. The people that have never been on the stream are like, what is going on right now?
I know. They're gonna be like, fuck this shit.
Yeah. But yeah, the wild thing is like, yeah, anybody that I knew that grew up in like bad trailer parks, they have wild stories like that.
And he tells them and doesn't realize that they're bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like he'll be like, oh yeah, there's this thing, like, and like sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I'm like, do you need to see somebody for that?
Yeah.
He's like, no, it's funny.
The one time I got abandoned by myself for like 6 weeks, it was a good time. I ate a lot of hamburger helper, and you're like, oh, that's not normal. And he's like, oh, yeah, it is. Everybody does that.
Yeah, it's like my mom had guys, like a parade of guys coming through her house, and they would give her drugs, and then she got arrested for it. Don't know why.
Yeah, that's totally normal. Everybody does that, right? We've all been there before. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, what were we talking about before I was airing my boyfriend's tea on the internet?
I have no idea, to be honest. I just kind of let you do your thing.
That's not good because now I'm completely lost.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've talked about a lot of things. Specifically, we were talking about not making making meth in your bathtub.
Making meth in your bathtub. That's where it came from. And then,
but we didn't have a point. We were just talking about not making collard greens
in the tub.
Yes.
Just scroll back. Oh, testosterone. How did we go from testosterone? Okay, so secret wieners, testosterone, Michelle Obama, Kamala, maybe something.
Secret wieners, testosterone, Michelle Obama, and then somebody brought up Kamala in the chat. That was actually a chat thing that got brought up. Was watching collard greens in the tub.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Michelle Obama being secretly a man is a thing. So
watching collard greens in the tub feels very much like the same energy as Hillary Clinton being like, "I've got hot sauce in my purse." Okay.
Yeah.
She didn't say it like that, but that was basically the implication, was that she's like, I'm like you coloreds.
Yeah, I'm like the coloreds. Don't you feel good about that? I have hot sauce.
I'm so relatable.
Yeah, it's red hot too. Isn't that great? Tabasco. And you're like, I guess. I mean, it's fine. Not all of us eat that.
I act like I'm like making fun of them, but I'm like, I know nothing about
Yeah,
Black culture. So when
that's
people,
very true.
so it's like I can't. I'm just as clueless as Hillary.
She's out here eating snails and baguettes and making her own bread and shit like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, looking down on people eating hamburger helper.
I don't like
Yeah,
poor people.
yeah. I don't like the
I don't
poors.
like the poor.
Yeah, you and Savvy are gonna get along really well.
I
We
want to
talked
meet.
about fried. Yeah, we talked about fried bologna sandwiches, and she's like, "What kind of sandwiches are those? Are those wet sandwiches?" I'm like, "What are you fucking talking about? They're just fried bologna sandwiches."
Wait,
Have you
what?
ever have you ever had a fried bologna sandwich?
Do I look like I had a fried bologna sandwich? I mean, don't answer
I
that. I
mean,
probably
I
do
was
look
gonna
like.
say, absolutely do look like you had a fried bologna sandwich, but I'm
Wow,
trying to figure that out. No, I'm calling you have darker skin.
I'm pretty pasty, but
You
thank.
have dark enough skin that I would imply that maybe you've had a fried bologna sandwich at one
And that my credit is like,
time. Yeah, your credit's decent, but like not great. They're like,
yeah,
listen, we can get you a deal, but like it's not gonna be those cars. It's gonna be those cars.
yeah, it's gonna be like a
Yeah.
Ford Pinto or something.
You never had a fried bologna sandwich. Is this really not a thing?
Is the bologna fried or is the sandwich fried?
The bologna is fried. Your sister just said our mother is white in French. Well,
Yeah,
that doesn't
like,
mean she didn't give you a fried bologna sandwich.
yes, it does.
Okay, gotcha. That makes sense, actually.
She knew what real food was.
Yeah, I apparently I'm just that this is not a common experience. I also got made fun of. There's a lot of I got made fun of for bringing up King Vitamin. You know what King Vitamin is?
No.
It's like a knockoff like Captain Crunch cereal for like very poor people.
Oh, tell me more about the
Uh,
poor.
yeah. Oh, it's so funny with their weird foods.
Did I?
Yeah, this like let me pull up a King Vitamin box. Yeah, I used to eat this shit all the time like as a kid. I didn't know. It didn't matter to me, but it was good. I liked it. Apparently it wasn't a normal thing. Yeah, fried bologna sandwiches are good. I don't
I mean, who
and
knows?
she
It
was
could be.
she was
It
like bolognese. I'm like, no fucking bologna. Like the
could.
yeah, the shit that's made out of like horse meat and like pig hooves. Yeah. Don't look at me like that. That's not, you got to eat every part of the animal.
True.
Right here, King Vitamin.
And this is supposed to be a knockoff what?
This is like knockoff of like Captain Crunch or whatever.
Oh, so you don't even get like the fake dyes in your thing. It's just like
I don't know what this stuff was.
plain.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, it was good though. Yeah, It was pretty yummy. I guess. I don't know.
I didn't realize he
Yeah,
was King Vitaman.
yeah, King Vitamin. Yeah, but then like eventually they just like stop. I don't think they make it anymore. But then eventually they also like stopped putting it in like a box. They just started putting it in bags. Like, cause that's like what like when you get like to really poor people's food. Yeah, you put it in bags. They just sell like the plastic bags with the stuff on it.
This is a
You
whole
look like
lot.
you haven't. You look like
Yeah,
you have no idea what I'm talking about. That's wild.
no, like that's the thing is like I mean, I never really thought about money growing up. So like I guess we were like middle class or upper middle class probably. And like so when Chris was like, or sorry, Boy Walker, but he's like, I'll be like, oh, you don't know about this? He's like, no, I didn't have cable.
Yeah,
Like, I just didn't understand because I was like, you never watched this Disney Channel show, or like you never watched blah blah blah, and like I just didn't know that wasn't
yeah.
everybody's experience. So like,
I guarantee you, Boy Walker has had a fried bologna sandwich.
oh, I'm sure. Well, we talked about it today though. He did say bologna is the one thing that you could not pay him to eat. But maybe
I
it's
bet.
because he's had enough sandwiches, or maybe he's had to eat enough bologna that he's like, I never want
Yeah,
this again.
there's certain foods that like you grow up and you eat it because it's like it becomes like a big batches of like spaghetti or like goulash. Your parents make like a giant pot of that because it's cheap and it's easy to make and it lasts a long time. Like you would keep eating it over and over and over again. It's not fancy. It's not like, oh, today I made my pasta bolognese and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we're not doing any of that. Yeah.
I mean, look, there's certain things I like. Like my poor people food is I don't know why I will crush some like ramen packets. Not
Mm.
like not the cup of ramen, like the bricks that you cook on the stove, like Nissin
Yeah.
or Marjan or whatever. I would rather have that than ramen from like a Japanese restaurant.
Hmm.
I don't know why. Like this is supposed to be better, but like I'm
You
like
know why? Because the poor
MSG.
people food tastes better. Yeah.
But the stuff at the restaurant should taste better because it's like, oh, it's
No.
all this stuff, but it's like the noodles are crap. The ones at home, I'm sure they're probably just deep fried, and that's why they taste good. But I will.
Yeah, they're basically made of plastic. They're like awful for you.
I know, but they're so good.
They're so good. I get it, but it's a thing like that. Like, yeah, you're like, hey, here's some of that food, and like me and Lady Epic get into this all the time too, because you know what? She's got like a refined palate as well. Oh, I don't like all this artificial stuff. Like, can we have like fresh foods and fresh ingredients and
Have to
stuff?
nourish our bodies and our family.
Yeah, why can't we have any fresh veggies? And I'm like, we're not doing that. We're eating stuff with MSG and artificial like ingredients. And like I'm getting like we get like those Toll House cookies that are basically like air and sugar. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah, I used to eat those raw, and people were like, "You're gonna get salmonella," and I'm like, "That's why I will never die."
Yeah, that's true. Oh no, we might be talking about no, the is it Loft House cookies? I'll show
Uh,
you these cookies. You probably never even had these. Um let me see here. They're basically like oh my gosh. Yeah, there we are. Loft House cookies. They're like they come in like a pre-made package, and they're like frosted, and they're basically like air and sugar. You probably never had these before.
Bring up the picture.
I'm bringing them up right now. You have
Oh,
never
no,
had
I've had
these?
those. Yeah,
Okay.
the
Yeah,
grocery.
these are like delicious. I love these. But yeah, Lady Epic was like, these are gross. They taste artificial. I'm like, oh, sorry.
I mean, they do now. Like I liked them as a kid, but there's plenty of things now that I ate as a kid that I don't eat. Wow, strong feelings there.
Yeah, that's wild, bro. I just can't believe it. I don't know what kind of world I live in. You know, sometimes I like the artificial stuff better, I guess. You know,
Honestly, though, there's certain things where I'm like I love some spam musubi.
that
It's
was
like a
spam
Hawaiian.
musubi.
It's like Hawaiian food, but it's basically like spam with like teriyaki sauce, and it's like it's like a sushi wrap almost. It's like rice, spam, I guess teriyaki, and then like a seaweed wrap around it.
Interesting. That's your poor people food of choice: ramen and sushi, spam wraps.
It's spam musubi. It's
Yeah, you're like, oh, spam musubi. It's not poor people food. I'm
it's
not just eating
Hawaiian.
spam out of a can.
I'm trying to think about other
What other poor food you eat?
Chef Boyardee I liked.
Liked. Yeah.
Yeah, because I haven't had it recently because I'm not poor anymore. Well,
Yeah, I don't have to do that anymore.
I'm I'm just in a lot of debt, but technically I pretend I'm not poor. I'm like, I've got a credit limit left.
Yeah, you eat your food out of a can. Oh, okay. That's
You live
one way to live your life. Yeah. That's how you know. Like, what's wild is I haven't bought Chef Boyardee in a long time, but that's because I have kids. And the last time I made it, it was in a Tupperware container. When I took it out of the Tupperware container, like the leftover to like reheat it, it
Mhm.
left like a permanent orange stain on the Tupperware. I'm like, oh God, that's in my body, and
Yeah.
that's in their bodies. I probably should stop feeding this to them.
Yeah,
So
you should probably stop feeding most artificial stuff. I mean, I get it, like, it's expensive, and that's the thing that's ridiculous. It should not be more expensive to feed people real food than it is to feed them processed crap. Like, if you look at the ingredients list for, like, Wonder Bread at the store, it's like 40 ingredients, and most of them are
yeah,
not even ones that you know. Also, people don't realize, like, when you get flour at the store, it's shelf stable. So that's like
yep,
when you mill your own, you're getting all the nutrients from the wheat berry and the like from the germ, the endosperm, all that stuff. That's sorry, that's like sciencey stuff. Basically, to make it
sperm in your flour.
yes, the
Gotcha.
sperm in your flour. So there's like the wheat bran, the wheat germ, and the endosperm are the three parts of the wheat berry. The germ and the bran are the most nutritious part, and that's the part that gets taken away when they put it in the store because that stuff spoils and it goes bad. So they can't make it shelf stable. So when you're getting flour at the store, you're not really getting wheat. You're just getting like the starchy, carby part of the wheat and none of the nutrients. And then they have to bleach it because they want it to be white. So they put bleach. That's why it says bleached flour. And there's like all sorts of like other stuff in there. So you're getting a lot of chemicals in everything you get from the store because it has to be shelf stable. Like I get why they do it, but also try to eat fresh when you can, I guess.
That all sounds made up.
I mean, I yeah.
That sounds like Big Bread is bought you out.
They've
Big
got
Wheat
me.
has bought you out. Yeah,
I'm
they've
just trying
got
to
you.
like take down the mom and pop flour companies at the store.
Yeah, yeah, the giant multi-billion-dollar mom and pop flour companies that are making, yeah, the shitty bread.
No, see, Shield Wall, what you're getting when you get flour is only sperm. You're just getting a big old bag of bukkake, I guess.
When you buy Wonder Bread, you're eating sperm.
You're just
Yeah,
getting the endosperm, but none of the
it's
brain.
basically just yeah. And like I don't like that's the thing. I don't buy like wheat. I don't buy white bread anymore. Like we buy like wheat bread, and we try to buy stuff that's like seed based and stuff. So you try to like eat healthier because I have kids and I want them to eat healthier than they do. Like we don't like the hamburger helper thing. Like I don't make hamburger helper for my kids.
Mhm.
Like, but one day I was like, I'm kind of craving it. Like I just missed the taste of it, so I made it. My kids were like, "What is this garbage? Like, do not make us eat this again." And I'm like, "Isn't it?" I'm like, "I like it," and they're like, "We don't." And I was like, "Okay, fine. I'll make you like fresh food next time." But
This is another like debate thing. So I like when I eat like fresh I like fresh peas. He loves canned peas. I
hmm.
think they're the nastiest thing in the world. Like canned peas are like mushy and darker green, like a vomit color, and they're so gross. But he's like, that's what I grew up with, so that's what I like. But I'm wondering,
Mm.
is that a poor person thing? Tell me, resident poor person, is this a poor person thing, or is that just weird?
I don't know. See, because some foods I like because I liked them as a kid. Some foods I don't like because I ate them as a kid.
Yeah.
I don't like peas at all, period.
Mm-mm.
But like green beans are specific. I cannot eat canned green beans. They
Yeah.
disgust me. They gross me out. Hate
There's
them. I
one
hate
there's one company, you will change your mind. They're so good.
canned green beans.
Canned green beans. It's like
Never.
fresh tasting somehow, and it's like a southern company. I don't know if it would be up where you
Nope.
live.
I just buy frozen green beans or like fresh ones, but like that those I can handle and like not cut green beans. They have to be like full on ones. I can eat those,
Mhm.
but I cannot eat canned green beans. They disgust me. The other thing is too like I don't like canned tomatoes.
What?
Yeah,
Well,
like if you do like spaghetti sauce and stuff, I
yeah.
can't handle like when it's like canned potatoes like, or tomatoes. They just
Wait, what do you mean? Like the diced tomatoes, or you don't like
yeah.
canned tomato sauce?
No, like canned tomato sauce is fine, but like canned like chunks of tomatoes, like that kind of a thing, like diced tomatoes in like a can and stuff, gross me out. I can't do it.
I I guess I can see what you mean. I
I don't
think.
know. I can eat the tomato sauce, like the sauce is fine, but I can't do like the for some reason, yeah, I can't do the texture of like tomatoes like that. Like when they're like whole tomatoes or diced tomatoes, like you know, like fire roasted tomatoes, and they'll put them in like stuff, like because it's not pureed or whatever. I don't know. For some reason, the texture, the
I
stuff
mean, I
out of
guess
the
I can see
can.
it being a texture thing. I don't like frozen shit for some like frozen veggies just never thaw properly to me. Like I'm just like, mm.
Hmm.
So it's weird. I'd actually rather have canned. So this I'm sharing it because
That's
God,
pretty
I hate this.
nuts. You can do this. I believe in you.
There we go. This get this version. It's so fucking good.
Those look gross.
They
Why
I
are
don't
they
know
square and flat like
because
they're rectangular?
I think they cut them into like chunks, but it's like ingredients: Italian green beans, water, MSG, which probably not great, but whatever. Salt, dehydrated onion, sugar, spices, bacon fat, and natural hickory smoke flavor. So it's not a bunch of. It's like all stuff you would use like if you were making it at home, or at least in the South you
Interesting.
do. So it's not like 10 million things. It's like these are the ingredients, and it's delicious. So
Interesting.
if you have that near you, try it out. You're welcome.
Yeah, that's really really interesting. I don't know. Do you know that MSG is actually not like super horrible for you?
I go back and forth because I know some people say that it was like a smear campaign to try to get people to stop eating Chinese food, but then I know some people say like it is mimicking a neurotransmitter in your brain called glutamate or
Yeah. So
something. I
like
like.
it's weird. There's like yeah, there was like a whole thing in the 90s about that. But they're
Mhm,
like you can't have that in your food. It's like really bad for you. And there's like some things about it that like it's being accused of that's not good.
mhm.
Um but like yeah, they're like relatively in moderation. It's not that bad for you.
I think that's the thing is that I'm like most things if you just have a little bit of it. So like I know some
Yeah.
people say, "Oh, it gives me migraines," but for me, I'm like, I don't really notice like a thing after I eat it, so I'm like, all right, then it's probably fine for me. And
Yeah.
Rough Night says it's naturally occurring in fish, and I think it also was like seaweed too. Like, isn't that how they
Yes.
originally made it? So like
Yes.
that's why I'm kind of like, okay, maybe it's somewhat
But
okay.
there was a problem. Yeah, there was. I mean, there's a lot of that happened. Like the whole thing with like meat and like high fatty foods being the cause of like heart disease, and
Mm,
it was really sugar that was the cause of heart disease,
mm,
and like it is absolutely proven now that the government was paid off by this guy who didn't want it to come out that sugar was the thing causing these problems and push propaganda that it was heart disease. Same with milk. And like, because when we were growing up in high school, or not high school, but like grade school stuff, they were like, you got to eat milk, you got to eat cheese, dairy's really good for you. Like, dairy can be good for you in moderation, but they were actually just trying to sell more milk.
mm. Because they had
Yeah.
what was the cheese thing was because they had like excess, right? Like they had
Yes.
like they
So
had
our government has an entire warehouse full of like excess cheese that they bought from farmers back in like the 80s. No, 70s. Hold on.
why aren't they sharing this with me?
Well, there's a lot of it, dude. Yeah.
No, that's why you think they should be giving it away. Because didn't they say like, "Oh, it's government cheese" with like the saying, but like, how do I get this government cheese?
Right. It's U government currently stores 1.4 billion pounds of cheese in a cheese cave in Missouri. Yep. And there was a national dairy shortage, and they bought a bunch of it from farmers. So a bunch of farmers just started making cheese and stuff like that. And they bought a ton of them, and now they have like just an excess of cheese everywhere, which like government cheese is so like a big thing. And why they sell it so cheap in these giant fucking blocks is like, we don't know what to do with this cheese. Like, we got to get rid of this cheese. And so then they started doing the got milk commercials where they were trying to sell milk and sell cheese so they could get rid of this milk and like offload it to people. Yeah.
Yeah, food is such a weird thing too, because it's like I just kind of go by what have humans kind of eaten for the longest amount of time. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I used to be very much like I would jump on every like fad thing, and I understand. I think I've learned from each of them, so like I've kind of taken away like, oh, this is good for you. Oh, this is helpful. So it's like I'm not like, "Oh, that's wrong," but, like, I was very much, like, anti-carb for a while, and then I was like, "Oh, I was keto, and then I was paleo," and, like, I think they're very helpful when it comes to, like, lowering your blood sugar and, like, learning not to eat empty carbs that spike like, stuff like that, but now
Mm-hmm.
I'm kinda going back to more of, like, a whole way of eating where it's like I'm not banning any particular group necessarily as long as it's, like, a whole food, because like, for the
Yeah.
longest time, they're like, "Oh, you can't have any carbs. Veggies are bad. Bread is bad." And it's like, well, our ancestors also ate like freshly milled whatever. Like they ate the whole bread or whatever. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
eat store bought, empty, lifeless bread. So I'm like, we've been eating it for 30,000 years and every culture has it. And I imagine it's probably pretty nourishing. That's why they had it. So maybe
Mm-hmm.
our version of it's not that good. So it's kind of like my new way of eating is like, I'm not listening to the government no more. I'm just like,
Government.
"Alright, well, what have we kind of been eating for the longest time, and what has changed, and why do we suddenly have a lot more obesity, and we have a lot more disease than we did maybe 100 years ago?" I don't know. It's just me working out my theory,
Mm-hmm.
so
But you said you lost 30 pounds, so obviously you're on the right track.
yeah, and it's crazy because like, people go, "Oh, it's not hormones, you just need to stop being a lazy asshole and work out," but the thing is, like, I was walking 5 days a week, I would go to the gym several days, and it's still just nothing was budging, and then
Yeah.
for me, it was, like, learning I got, like, a continual glucose monitor,
Mm-hmm.
I like the thing that, like, you put in your I put it in my leg, but you can put it in your arm, wherever, and,
Yeah.
it was really eye-opening to be like, because I'm not diabetic, so I was like, "Oh, I'm probably not having spikes," but, like, I would eat I think it was, like, rice once, like, I think I had Chinese food, and I think the sugar that they put in the sauce and the rice made my blood sugar spike up to, like, 170 something, so I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh." So most of the day it was fine, but then there are certain things that'll spike it, so I think it's good to know what spikes it and then learn,
Yeah.
"Okay, if I go on a walk after a meal, then it lowers the blood sugar spike," like, things like that, so I think that stuff's helpful, so it's like, instead of being like, "Eat this way, you can only eat these foods," or whatever, I'm just like, as long as you're like, eat what you want, as long as you're able to kind of work it into what you're trying to do. Like, if you're trying to lower your blood sugar, maybe don't drink your sugar. That's like
Yeah.
a they're like, "Don't drink if you drink juice, it just goes right in your bloodstream." Whereas if you have something with fiber in it, it's going to slow it down a little bit more. So just little things
Yeah.
like that. Glucose Goddess, I recommend her if you guys are looking into lowering your insulin or blood sugar. Or Glucose Revolution, I think, is her YouTube channel. She's got some interesting facts. So
that's rad. By the way, damn, I have to go. It's been great seeing Daywalker back for a secret stream. Hell
yeah, thank you for coming. I'm surprised everybody. Yeah, see you in 6 months. It's like Brigadoon, the musical, where like every 100 years the island like rises out of the sea and for a day, and then it goes back into the.
Every 6 months, Daywalker shows up for a stream, and then she's like, I will be back at some point with sketches or something, and then 6 months later, she's like,
guys,
time.
I really am gonna do it. Like I've got stuff in the works. It's any day now. And then 6 months later, I'm like, oh, and then YouTube's like, hey, post something.
Yeah, hey buddy, remember us? Yeah, we're gonna demonetize your channel if you don't figure this out. Like, oh, all right, well, let's get that figured out then, I guess.
So yeah. No, I do want to do more. I think I'm also in a weird place because I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. Because I think I'm kind of, I've said this before, but I'm kind of I'm not spending as much time on the internet. So I'm like, oh, most of the stuff I'm making like sketches about was only relevant to people who were like chronically online. So I'm kind of like, what kind of comedy do I want to make if I'm, just making, I don't know, like not universal comedy, because there's no universal comedy, but I'm like, what would I make if I'm not on the internet and I'm not being outraged by anything anymore?
Yeah.
So, and Mike and I are working on some projects together,
I'm very excited about.
Yeah. So we're still very early stages, but I think it's gonna be really cool. So that'll be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sketches at some point. I think I am also kind of like trying to figure out. Yeah, I guess I'm just like lost on the direction of where I want to go. So I think that's probably why I haven't posted as much.
Amanda can't make up her mind on what she wants to do.
I know,
guys.
weird.
Surprising.
But I've gotten some TV gigs, so that's cool. But I think that also is maybe like what's made me a little bit scared is I'm like, oh, I didn't think I was gonna actually like book stuff. So now I'm like booking stuff. I'm like, oh, maybe I should watch what I say about.
I didn't think anybody was gonna hear me talk about this stuff.
Pretty much, I was like, oh, I'm never gonna make it in this business. So like, I'm not gonna. Nobody will ever hear me talking crap about this movie or this director or this actor. I'm like, oh, like what's the girl from The Bear? There's a actress on the show called The Bear, and she kind of got into a little hot water because she has a podcast. And a couple years back, she apparently said something about J-Lo being a terrible singer and dancer and not being talented. And then she ended up being like in a movie with her or something and had to do promotional stuff. And people brought up that interview, and she had to like eat shit.
Yeah, that's wild.
So I'm like,
you just never know. Yeah. One day, you're just like, I have to go throw away my pillow hood that I cut out for a sketch one time.
I don't know where I put it. I lost it again, but I found the bedazzler. So that's the main reason I never got to finish that sketch, the one with the clan hood, was because I needed the bedazzler to bedazzle the clan hood, and I couldn't find the bedazzler once I finally found the clan hood. Now I've lost the clan hood, but I have the bedazzler. First world problem.
I'm sure you'll find it one day. I'm sure you'll find your clan hood laying around one day.
Thank you.
We'll all laugh. Yeah, we'll all laugh and be happy together as you bedazzle it. You're like, what you doing? Just bedazzling the clan hood. No worries. Yeah.
That's how you know America's a free country.
Yeah. You just said we could remake one easily. Yeah, but then it's not the same.
It's not the same, and also I don't have another white pillowcase. I got another one.
What am I gonna do? Go to Walmart amongst the poors and buy one?
Ew. They might like get their pour on me, and it's contagious.
Yeah. Oh, gross! It's like they spoke to me.
Yeah, they looked at me with their poor eyes.
Oh my god. Well, what do you think?
I think it's probably about that time. Yeah. I forgot you have to stream. Are you going to stream now, or are you going to go to bed?
No.
I'm sorry, I just ruined your channel.
You didn't ruin my channel. Yeah. You single-handedly ruined my channel. Except for all the times where I'm like, so many people are like, "Yo, are you going to stream tonight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." And then I go to bed. Like right after I say that, like there's been times where like Mrs. Rough Night's like, "Hey, you're gonna stream?" And I'm like, "Yeah, probably." And then like 3 hours later, I'm in bed looking at my phone, like laughing at TikTok videos, and then I fall asleep. And they're like, "What happened to the stream?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just fucking fell asleep."
I mean, God forbid you have a life and a family and stuff. Ugh.
Yeah. I mean, but also like half the time I'm like those times I'm just dicking around. I don't have anything going on. I'm just more like I just don't just tired. I just want to go to bed now. You know? No, this
Yeah.
is good. We got to hang out. Originally, you were like, "Oh, we'll just talk for like 5 minutes and then we'll call it good." I'm like, "There's no way."
You just like help me do a stream before my 30 days is up. It can be like 30 minutes. It's fine, and it never is.
It never is. No,
But
we'll have to do more of these, and
yeah,
then
that's good.
be on the lookout because I'll get Amanda on my channel too.
Yeah, and I want to meet this. Was it savvy person?
Savvy, yeah. We'll introduce you to Savvy. She's interesting one for sure.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, thank you guys for coming. I hope you guys had a good time. Hope you have a good time tomorrow with doing whatever you're doing, unless you're like going to a funeral. I'm going to a funeral this weekend, but I hope I have a great time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to his funeral and I'm gonna have a blast.
It's gonna be the best funeral I've ever been to. I put the fun in funeral. Okay.
You could run into people that watch this stream. They're like, "On a funeral, huh?" You're like,
Yeah.
"Yeah."
Anyway, my sister's like probably like, "This is your grandfather. Stop talking."
Yeah, she's like looking at she's looking at her phone. She's like, "Oh no." Yeah. Well, we hope you have a good time on your fun and funeral time. Yeah.
It'll be a blast. All right. Well, sleep tight, guys. Drink your put your crystals up your butt. Whatever that health advice I gave. Don't
drink
let
your Ovaltine.
Barnes.
Yep. Make meth in your bathtub, not greens.
Yeah, don't make greens in your bathtub, make meth.
Yeah.
And get your insulin checked. Fasting insulin.
Fasting insulin. It was different than your regular insulin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
stay
bye.
away from the ghost things. Ghost sex.
Wait, do you have anything you want to promote?
No.
In the silence. We don't even have outro music. We're just like
I do you remember how to play the music? Maybe I can play the music. Can I play the music? How much control do I have of anything?
I don't know. But we have these funny clips I forgot about from like previous ones.
I can play music.
You can also play
and delightsome.
Do you remember that one?
I do remember that one. Hey, oh my god, we do have a lot of these.
Chocolate covered lesbians, Batman!
Speaking of that, I actually used that line the other day.
You did?
I did. I was thinking about something. I was like, oh my god, chocolate covered lesbians, Batman. Yeah. Well, guys, we did it.
All right. Well,
we kept the channel alive for another 6 months.
Like on life.
We just walk in. We're like, all right, do whatever we got to do to keep it alive. And we're like, that's good enough. Bye. And it's just like,
later, and just like, you're second sad, and you like leave.
It's like, don't leave me. And you're like, okay, bye. I'll see you later. It's like, no, I promise I'll be back. And
my channel's like not even like it's in a coma. It's like none of you would get this reference, but it's like Terry Schiavo.
That's a good reference. I think people would get that
you remember
reference.
Terry Schiavo?
I do. And her husband was like, yo, I'm pulling the plug. And they're like, why? And he's like, because no reason at all. I just think it's time. And then his like new girlfriend is sitting right behind him going like, yeah.
No, it was technically, it had been like 20 years or something. And she was like,
I know.
Brain dead. And he's like, can I pull the plug, please? And the parents were like, no. Why are we talking about while the Feed the Ducks are playing? We're like, hey, she was brain dead.
you gotta keep the Terry Schiavo talk light, you know?
Yeah. Good
I'm just pulling the plug on my wife for no reason. He's like, I just want to get married again. I'm like, well, you can't.
God.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the music ended, and now we will just be awkward after we just talk about a poor brain dead woman. And have a good night.
Yeah, take it easy, y'all.
Enjoy those butt crystals.
Yeah, enjoy the butt crystals, and yeah.
All right.
We'll see you in 6 months.